Welcome to A Year in Marvel. My name is Antonio Alcazar.
And I'm Jason Technor Studios.
And we're here with the series finale.
The finale
of WandaVision.
Marvel's first Disney Plus TV show. Should have been the second, but it was the first thanks to COVID.
It should have been the second?
Yeah, because...
Falcon was first?
Yes, that was supposed to be first last year.
Interesting.
Yep, it was going to come out somewhat after Black Widow last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess that would have made more sense. Black Widow and the Captain America Falcon stuff have like the same, I don't know,
feel.
Atmosphere.
Yeah, definitely.
Whereas like Wanda was way a different fucking thing. I could have seen Wanda, Loki kind of together.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The other one, yeah.
Absolutely.
Man, am I excited for Loki.
Hell yeah, bro.
That time variant shit, like, I'm just...
It's going to be wild, man. Nice. With some wild characters in it, too. So, some great actors.
All right, man. So, do you want to give us a rundown?
I'm going to give you the rundown of what happened on this season finale.
I hope everybody is...
Before we get into the season finale and the rundown, I want to say something.
Okay.
All right. We've gotten some reviews and whatnot. And I want to point out something for people here. We're here to speak truth to power, baby. Power to truth. Truth to power. We do not get paid for this, or if we do, it's very minimal.
We don't get paid for this.
Okay, that's what I figured. I don't get paid
for
this.
There is zero coming in right now.
Right. So we're not sponsored. We're nothing like that. So we're not going to fucking sugarcoat anything. We have
and even more to that. Even if we were sponsored, we're not going to sugarcoat anything.
No.
This is essentially because we used to argue a lot in public.
Yep.
And a lot of people close to us said, you guys should argue over podcasts.
Yes.
Because I would like to listen to these arguments even when I'm not here.
Yes.
And so we did that. But none of this is because we have an agenda.
Right.
We just like to argue.
Exactly. And I think it's important for y'all to know, like, we do this because we're fans of the things we do. So Marvel is definitely not as much my thing. It's more Antonio's thing. So you might find a more fan sympathetic look at Marvel from him, whereas I'm going to be a little bit more critical on things. I'm sorry if that offends you, but that's the point. We have two people on here, though, so you should be able to be there with the fucking headphones in your ear, cheering for Antonio as he takes down my fucking takes. And vice versa, we'll probably have a similar setup when it comes to our Star Wars podcast that's going to be coming soon here, covering
I think it'll be really nice when we do a Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Because... Oh, and like not when, because obviously this week I think we'll already have a Star Wars show. We're
hitting up with Mando.
But the fact that I'm not a fan of Star Wars, will make for I think it's very different dichotomy.
It's a perfect juxtaposition here because you are the super fan for Marvel while I'm interested in Marvel. Yeah. I'm the super fan for Star Wars while you're interested in Star Wars. Right, exactly. It's a perfect setup. I mean, a perfect flip to the normal thing that we're doing.
So if you're looking forward to that, a situation where
he shits on things and I have to defend them.
That'll be interesting.
That's coming down the pipe. And I will actually point out some things later on just to be a cool little comparison between the two and whatnot. I'll get to it.
Also, I also want to say now that we've been doing this for a little bit, if you like what we're doing and you listen to us and you enjoy it, please consider leaving us a rating somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Because those are important. Like, Jason and I ideally would like to continue this, but there's like a tremendous amount of logistics that happen behind the scenes, and it is a unbelievably tremendous amount of work.
Yeah.
And so if we had more time to do it, it'd be pretty cool. And that only happens by gaming the algorithm.
Yeah.
And everybody's been on the internet long enough to know that gaming happens through likes and subscribes and comments and reviews.
Hell yeah.
And so if you do like what we're doing here, take some time to review us. It's absolutely free. It just takes a little bit of time out of your day. And if you could, every single review goes like a stupid long way. The algorithm is literally gamed by it. So please consider doing that for us, because we really like doing this. Yeah. And if you're enjoying it, we would really appreciate it.
Yep. And we should point out, too, we expanded our coverage in part because people liked our coverage of WandaVision, and we've gotten some compliments and whatnot on that. That's why we're expanding to Star Wars in the first place. So the more you guys enjoy what we do, the more we can actually do, because, I mean, we both work full-time jobs, and so this is a part-time love.
This is literally a labor of love. Yeah, exactly. For sure. But we don't get it twisted. We love to just shit and
we love to fight, and so it's natural. All right. enough of that bullshit. Let's get into what they actually showed up for. Here we go, buddy.
What'd you think?
So when I first watched this episode of television, I got to tell you, it ended, and I was completely indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that's the end of the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's good or that's bad.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not good.
It's definitely not good.
Yeah. Good would have been like, woo, woo! You know, like that would have been good.
Yeah.
Like, you remember when you were crying and cheering at the end of Endgame?
Yes.
That's good.
Yes.
Indifference is not what you want to feel.
This is not the end of Endgame. So I'm going to be honest. I thought it was okay when I first watched it. I thought it was fine. There was some really great shit, and then there was some shit that bothered me. Mm-hmm. I thought the Vision fight against Vision leading to a logical debate was one of the coolest fucking things I've seen in MCU in years. Okay. Mm-hmm. If I take out Endgame from the equation, it's probably the coolest thing in the last 5 years in the MCU universe. It was just awesome to me. And when he was like, I am Vision, and flies away, I got a couple goosebumps from that. I thought that was an awesome scene. The things I didn't like on first watch, Wanda, Agatha, super fight. I know you have to do that because it's a superhero show, so you got to have...
You almost wish it didn't have to be.
Yeah, I wish that you could have ended it like that's the thing with the Vision. It started off that way, and then it didn't end that way. But that's his character. I get it.
Yeah, okay.
The Wanda fight, the thing I didn't like about the Wanda fight, well, I was like, okay, you got to do this. It's really silly to me that a day ago in the show, she's trapped by something she has no idea. Agatha reveals these are ruins. These are, you don't even know how to do this. You don't even know how to do something as simple as this. Mm-hmm. And then she has mastery over them in the next episode. That is a little bad.
Okay.
Then we have the scenes that I knew we were going to get, which were perfectly fine. The scenes between the kids and the scenes between Wanda and Vision. You have to do those, and those were earned. I felt.
What do you mean when they were disappearing?
Yeah, when everything was kind of falling apart. I thought that was well earned. We've developed with these characters, and we've seen what they've gone through, and I thought that was a well earned scene. And then we got to a scene that I actually was going to really, really like, because Wanda walks to town and she sees the glares of the townspeople who are obviously like, dude, you fucking piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And she
really fucked us up.
Yeah, and she walks over to Monica, and I was like, I love where this is going. Mm-hmm. She's going to turn herself in and go, I'm willing to do whatever, I did this crime, I'm willing. And then Monica's like, they'll never know what you sacrificed for them. And she goes, okay, and then flies off. Okay, I didn't like that. Then a day or so went by. I rewatched it and thought about it more, and I fucking hate it. It is egregiously bad. This is what I would analogize it as, okay? Because if you're listening to this show, you're going to get hit with two things. One, we'll get to that, and two, analogies. That's what you're here for. Imagine, would you call World War II a just war, like the American involvement in World War II?
Sure.
Okay. So if I was a World War II veteran and I was a Medal of Honor winner, okay, most people would consider me a hero.
Yeah.
Okay. I would consider a person who won a Medal of Honor, no matter the war, a hero, because that goes above and beyond the actual war. It goes to what you've done and how you've saved. Usually I've saved people,
yeah,
right,
sure.
And done things way above a regular soldier.
Sure.
So I'm a hero in these people's eyes. I come home. I work at a company. I'm there for many years. I get fired from this company. I lose my pension. That year, my wife dies. My brother kills himself. A really close friend of mine does terrible things. I then take a bag with 5 semi-automatic weapons and some C4, go back to my old job, take over that building. I now have everybody under control. They're my people. While I'm there, the FBI shows up. The leader of the FBI tries to get me out of that fucking thing, sends in a team. Things don't go well. Later, I figure out that a guy there is a child molester and a bad person. I kill that person. I then give myself up. What the fuck is going to happen to me? Am I going to be halted and hailed as a hero while I go off into the sunset?
And then go ahead, just go home.
Yeah, you're free to go. Yeah. And on top of that, you took care of this fucking child molester for us. Thank you very much. Yeah. That really, really, when I thought about it more, infuriated me. And for her to go, They'll never know what you gave up. What the fuck? She gave up a creation she made. I get it. It was there to help her with her grief. These people have been tortured for fucking months or even if it's weeks. I don't give a fuck if it's a day.
Yeah.
These people have been living tortured lives. Their children have been tortured. And this person's a fucking hero? Dude. Oh my God. That to me is worse than like the Ralph Boner thing. You knew I was going to have a little bit of an issue. To be honest, don't even have a huge issue with that, okay? It's a Rian Johnson type move because it's like, here's the thing. If you didn't want to have Marvel X-Men, like you don't want to have the Fox X-Men because like you don't think they make sense, cool, man. Don't have the Fox X-Men. I'm fine with that. I expected not to have the Fox X-Men when it was bought by Fox. I was like, after that shithole of a Dark Phoenix movie, I was like, okay, it's all done. Cool. I got 2 good movies out of it. Whatever. It is what it is.
But then they were like, hey, Fox X-Men.
Remember this?
And then you were just like, oh,
you ain't getting it, motherfucker.
Yeah. They were like, oh, cool. I get Fox X-Men. Thanks. And then you're like, psych.
Yeah. Perfect. Well said. Exactly that. So that was a little frustrating, but I didn't even care at that point. I was like, okay, because I knew in theory you were going to be right where it was not going to be like in my heart I wanted it to be Fox X-Men, but I knew you would probably be right that it was not going to be something of that nature. And I think we even talked about on this podcast a couple of weeks ago, I expected nothing's going to change from this. This is just a bridge. This is her becoming something and it's going to bridge over to something else. And that is fine. It is what it is. I thought the CGI with Vision fighting Vision was a little rocky in a few scenes, but overall, it was fine. Overall, I mean, it was just a fine episode of television. I think people that hate the show are a little bit overreacting. People who love the show are also overreacting. It's somewhere in between that. And if this would have came out as like the second or third TV show from Marvel, I don't even think people would be that big of a deal of it. I think it's polarized because it's the first Marvel product since Spider-Man Far From Home, right? Is that the last thing that's come out? So that's kind of why I think it's getting the reaction it is, good or bad. I think like the Metacritic was perfect on it. It scored like a 70 something. That's like a C, in the C area. I feel that's where this show rests for me. C+, that would be my grade. You let me know what you thought of it.
I went into this episode with trepidation. I went into this episode cautious because I was worried that somehow they weren't going to be able to stick the landing. So watching this, I got pretty hyped the episode before. Last week we talked about how pretty cool that episode was. There was a lot of backstory, and it was just like, okay, you have set it up. The moment is here. Let's see how you land this thing. And if I'm being completely honest, there were a lot of moments where I was surprised in the direction that they took it. A thing that stood out to me was how they played Agatha Harkness, because she was a really fun character the whole show. Even up until the penultimate episode, she was a fun character. She had a lot of like charisma to her, and I liked watching that character be that character. In fact, there was a moment where I told you, I'm not sure, I think it was last episode, where I said I'm not unhappy that she ended up being the bad guy, because I like her as a bad guy. She seems like a really fun bad guy.
To be honest, going into like this episode, I would put her in like the top 4 or 5 MCU villains to date, dude. She's like great
because they got to build her up. We got to see like a lot of her before she was outed as a villain, and so you kind of were just like, oh, you sneaky fuck, like I liked that. And then in the last episode, they really turned her into a very one-dimensional character. There was none of that like fun left. It was just like this very, I'm the other witch, and here's my magic, and I'm gonna block yours.
It's
and it was
similar to they've done with Iron Man, everything.
Yeah,
it was her opposite.
It was the
character,
opposite, yeah,
right,
for sure. And now, like I've said this to you before in previous conversations, I'm okay with the opposite character being the bad guy. I don't mind that, actually. I think when you're doing a thing, who's going to fight you? Well, the person who can do the things you can do. Okay, I'm fine with that.
You have to defeat your own demons before, and that's.
I don't want to play on that too much, because
but that's a projection of what that is.
I know, but I don't want to praise that idea.
Yeah,
because I think that gets lazy. Mm-hmm. And so the way that I justify it, insofar as I'm enjoying the medium, it is just saying, well, who's going to take you down? Somebody's just as strong. You know, you're not going to throw Captain America at Doctor Strange, because Doctor Strange will whoop the fuck out of Captain America. And and you want to root for Captain America, and so you're not going to throw him at the bad guy in Doctor Strange, you know, Dormammu. What the fuck is Captain America going to do, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, you do have to, like, I think it is a surefire way to make sure that your villains are proportionate to your protagonists. You let them do the same kind of things. You know, they're vibing in the same circles. So that's not a problem that I have. I think when you start underlying it with the subtext of you have to defeat the thing that's in yourself. Okay, but if that's your subtext every time, then you've got lazy writers, you know? So I'm not even going to think about that. I'll admit to that, but I don't think about it that way, you know? And so I thought it was a letdown to see all of that buildup and charisma go away from Agatha. I thought that she could have been a much more fun climactic ending. And they really just made it it was a Dragon Ball Z match. They were flying up in the sky and they were shooting at each other.
Yeah.
Okay. White Vision and the Vision were really fun to watch when he's just like, okay, you sent to kill the Vision, dope, but I'm not Vision. I like that the other Vision wasn't just like, fuck you, I'm going to beat you up anyway. He was just like, okay, well, what do you mean? Like, he was just like, explain that.
You're
shit.
here to destroy Vision.
Yeah.
I'm not Vision.
I'm not Vision.
You're not Vision either.
Yeah. And he goes, huh. You are fucking right about that shit, dog. Like, I loved that. You know, like, that interaction was so cool. And so when they kind of have their back and forth and he's just like, here's your fucking memories back later, and Vision disappears, I was just like, oh, but now you're Vision, so why are you disappearing? You know, like, go help Wanda, but whatever. That, to me, seems like a nitpick. I think another thing that stood out to me was...
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Before you go further.
Yeah.
Do you think, because I thought about this and I was like, this is what was missing. When the sword people show up, the natural follow-up to that scene, when Agatha's like, there will always be people coming after that, the natural thing to go is, join me, and together we will do, together I will teach you, and we will become the most powerful sorcerers.
There was some element to that. Hold on. We'll get to that. We'll get to that, right? Let me give you my rundown.
Yeah, I apologize.
I also think that it was maybe not a letdown to you because you didn't like the characters, but I thought it was an incredible letdown to have Monica, Jimmy Woo, and Darcy be absolutely nothing at all in the end, because they really made us follow these three fucking clowns the entire goddamn time.
Yeah.
And then they were not even relevant.
Comic relief.
They were literally, like, you divided the time 50% between that squad and the Inside the Hex squad. And in the end, the Outside the Hex squad had literally nothing to do. Monica got her powers, and she's going to be a character in the next Captain Marvel movie. And
or the Skrull War stuff.
Sure. And so, yeah, Secret Wars. And so, okay, you set up a character, but you didn't give her in-plot resolution. She was useless while the world was crumbling around her. And you really made Darcy and Jimmy Woo be characters, and they just, like, sat around and watched with their arms crossed as the fucking world crumbled around them. And so, I didn't like that. Now, Ralph Bohner. I don't want Fox characters as permanent fixtures in the MCU.
Right.
Because I don't think you need them.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a cool multiverse element, and I've read enough comic book events. Actually, currently reading a comic book event. I'm a big fan of comic book events.
Yeah.
And
you're not a fan of comic books if you're not into big comic book events.
The events are the fun fucking part. And so, if the MCU event that was happening for Phase 4 was multiverse, and you start getting shit from all the properties, the Spider-Mans, the X-Men, all over the fucking place. Cool. Fantastic Four, Sue Storm was cast in a fucking... Okay. Cool. Let that be the event. Now, you've heard me say it before in previous episodes. I don't want them to be permanent fixtures.
Yep.
If I'm going to get X-Men in the MCU, I want X-Men MCU.
Right. Developed characters from the Marvelous Cinematic.
Yeah, organically from the universe. Which Quicksilver do I like more? I like the MCU Quicksilver. Not because he's a, quote, better Quicksilver, but because he's an MCU Quicksilver, he fits better in the universe. Now, the fact that Ralph Bohner was the director looking at the camera and going, "Fuck you guys," that irritates me a tremendous amount. I hate that. I hated it. You know what it felt like? Exactly what you said, Rian Johnson, where he was just like, "Oh, you thought?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't that at all." And then he runs out of the room.
Yeah.
I hate that because of two reasons. One, it is condescending in a way that I don't like. And two, it is the most meta thing that you can do. And the specific reason that I like the MCU is because I get to suspend my disbelief and enjoy a well-constructed world.
Things like that belong in Deadpool.
Sure. Those breaking the fourth wall things. I go to Deadpool for the breaking of the fourth wall references. But in the MCU, I'm watching events happen as if they were actually playing out. The moment you put an actor from a different universe and you only do it as a fuck you to the audience, you have broken my suspension of disbelief in a way that I did not come for. I do a lot to have my disbelief not broken. I'm sitting there and doing mental gymnastics. We've pointed this out for everything to make sense to me.
Right.
I'm actively remembering things that have happened in other movies so that everything as one grand overarching narrative can make sense to me in a way that I can enjoy.
Yeah.
The moment you give a fuck you to the audience by casting somebody in a different role and then not making it an in-world event, just making it an out-of-world, "Oh, you thought it was going to be Fox?" You broke my suspension of disbelief intentionally. And I hate that. And so there were a lot of things that happened in the end of this episode, at the end of this series, that I thought were absolute missteps. It's like they were doing acrobatics for a long time, and then they fell flat on their face afterwards.
Yeah.
Now, were there some things that I enjoyed? I don't know, man. If they were few and far between. I didn't like how they dealt with the last stuff. I didn't like how they dealt with... I think the Vision part was where I had some modicum of enjoyment. Now let's get to what this wasn't. There wasn't a bigger overarching bad guy that made some of this stuff real because he was just that powerful. There was no Mephisto element to this. You know, the kids disappeared. The Vision disappeared. I liked some of that end dialogue because it definitely pulled at my heartstrings because I do care about the characters.
Yeah.
And so they took that and they made some kind of emotional resolution that I didn't disagree with.
Yeah.
I love Elizabeth Olsen's and Paul Bettany's chemistry. I believe it. So when the Vision was like, "This is goodbye, but we've said goodbye before, and I'm sure that this won't be the last one," that resonated. When I was watching it the first time, I was just like, "That's a cute moment." And so I can't say that none of this episode was fine, but I would place this in lower than Thor 2 territory as a finale. The rest of the show I enjoyed. It's mid-level Marvel, I'd say, which I enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah.
But the end episode I'd put underneath Thor 2 because in Thor 2, I enjoyed, even though it's silly, I enjoy it because I can put it in the greater MCU in its entire history.
Sure.
I can chalk this up as a grand celestial event with characters that were around before the MCU's history started being written. And so like this just was like another thing that happens for me. The thing that broke that for me in this was that Ralph Bohner thing.
Here's the thing, right? What's worse about that is you've already set up an ability to have him there without being Ralph Bohner. He could have just been a magical creation.
Yeah, he could have been a multiverse character. You've already told us that that Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness is coming. You've already leaked the fact that Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, what's his name, Molina, the guy who played Doc Ock, Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
All of these characters are going to be, what, are they all going to be red herrings? And if they're not red herrings, right? Let's say that they're not red herrings. They're actually real. Why not make this one real?
Yeah.
Why do something specifically to flip off the audience?
What's weird about that too is like
it shows such contempt for your audience that you have earned now my contempt. If that's what you wanted, cool. Now I fucking hate that you did that.
I even had a hard time understanding it because, like, okay, she has a necklace around him that's controlling him, right? Where does his superpowers come from? Because we see he has superpowers because he's able to, like,
Can Agatha just give people superpowers?
I guess, because, like, in that scene, and what happened? Okay, when Monica starts to leave, he just, like, flicks her, and then she, like, gets crumbled because he's Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Okay. Then the next scene, she just like wrestles him to the ground, and he's like,
I guess I just let that happen.
Weird.
It was
weird,
bad.
Man. It's weird.
It's not even weird. It was bad. It was somebody.
I'm trying to be kind.
Yeah, I'm not. I saw them go, and this is nothing. Let's just say fuck you. You know, like this is nothing. It was nothing. It was nothing but a bullshit red herring.
Yeah.
And I think that that's dumb. That's how I interpreted it. I saw that and I said, that's dumb.
Yeah.
You know, none of this was, whoever thought they were being cheeky and clever did something that was not entertaining.
Right.
And so I'm not a fan of that season finale. I thought that season finale was
sounds like
done.
It's, you know, in the end of this, it definitely sounds like you disliked it even more than I did. Because...
You know why?
Why?
Because I had liked it more than you did.
That's probably true.
They let me down.
Yeah.
I had bought into, and I still do, don't get me wrong, the MCU is very fun for me. I hope that they don't keep doing this Rian Johnson bullshit.
Sure.
Where they're just like, oh, you don't know what we're going to do. We're going to defy your expectations. Did they not realize what the fucking black backlash was for that fucking movie?
Yeah, but I think, like, you know what, though? Let me be honest with you.
So they have fans. They have fans.
Yeah.
They've got people who are just like, shit, man, I fucking love this stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's so irritating.
Here's the thing, though. Like, you go online... And now I know you're going to get this, you know, because if you don't go to like Marvel Studios Facebook page and expect to see people shitting all over it, right? Uh-huh. There were some people who were like, dude, the end was disappointing. But I would say the vast majority of people were like, greatest thing on television, and I even saw a person I would consider, you know, an online friend be like, I loved WandaVision. It's the best thing on television. And I was blown away by that. I was like, you don't watch much TV. And then he got really offended by that. He was like, me and my wife watch a lot of high-end TV and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of shocked because I was like, dude, I'm just trying to ask you. And a guy kind of got into it with me, and he was like, not him, but a friend of his, and was like, you know, what do you mean by high-end TV? And I was like, well, you know, like Sopranos. And I gave him a bunch of things. And he was like, those are all multi-seasonal things. And, you know, you can't compare that. Okay, well, let's compare miniseries, Chernobyl. And I named a bunch of those, right? And he was like, dude, there was nothing. What in those shows is as memorable as what is grief, or if not, you know, whatever Vision's grief statement was. And I was like, well, if you're going to make it that easy, I'll just go with Chernobyl. What's the cost of lies? You know, I used to think that, you know, I can't even remember it off the top of my head now, but it's like, I used to ask what the cost of telling the truth was, but now I question what the cost of lies are, or that, you know, every lie you tell and creates a debt to the truth, and eventually that debt has to be paid. Like, that to me is
There's
like
a lot of things that stand up.
Right.
And right now, when you were talking, I was just like, oh, can I actually remember quotes from like some of the bigger TV shows that I really liked? And like, yeah, I fucking can.
Of course
you can.
And it's just like, you know, Boardwalk Empire, all these other things. And like, I'm like, yeah, that was a fine line, and this stuff with Vision was fine. But
this
I'm like,
is prestige television.
Yeah.
I'll give it that. It's prestige television with a bad finale. And I loved Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. It had a bad finale.
Bad season 8.
Yeah,
like,
bad
entire season.
But what I'm saying is,
Watchmen.
I've loved shows.
Yeah.
Loved shows. Loved the universes that the shows are set in. I'm a big fan. I am almost apologetic how big of a fan I am.
Yeah.
And when they do something that is missteps,
yeah.
what am I? I'm not like some fucking person that's going to stick their head in the sand.
Yeah.
I am a fan because I like it. If I don't like it, I'm going to fucking say, hey, don't do this shit again.
Yeah, totally, man.
And I hope that in the future, when you say there's multiverse shit happening, here's a guy from a different fucking movie, that it's not you saying fuck you to the audience with some Ralph Boner bullshit, because that takes me out of it.
I think the problem that we have too is this was treated as a bridge, because
It was supposed to be.
Right.
This was supposed to be the intro to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
I don't think that's a good idea. Like, in my opinion,
It would have been great if they did it right.
yeah, but I think in my opinion, you're much better off giving your customer a finished product that also nods towards that.
Well, but that's what it could have been. It could have absolutely been a finished product. It could have been a finished product with greater MCU things happening rather than nothing.
Yeah.
Rather than it just falling flat. It was a big bullshit, fuck off, anticlimactic.
We need to look at
fight.
these different too. These are not TV shows. Like, thinking about,
but it's exactly it.
Right.
They weren't TV shows.
Right.
So
these are long movies, really.
Yeah. So where is the movie part?
Yeah.
If you're gonna make a long movie, then give me fucking movie resolutions.
I mean, you did. You had the Dragon Ball fight. Like, that was the resolution. That, like, if this was a movie, that would have been like the end of the movie was that resolution. Like, this is
okay, sure.
You know, like,
but they also had 6 hours of runway.
Yeah, I know.
And so, like, they gave us 6 hours of really fun runway, and then the plane crashed.
Here's the thing, man. If you want to watch this, just watch it, and instead go to HBO and watch The Leftovers. It deals with all the same storylines. It's just real people and dealing with grief.
Listen, it's not that I didn't like the show.
Yeah.
It's that I didn't like the production decisions to do specifically
not
bad
production,
things at the end.
story decisions. It's story decisions.
Yeah, but it was like, what I'm saying is they didn't do the narrative things because they thought that the narrative they were telling was a compelling narrative.
Yeah.
They made those decisions in like a council, it felt like. They were like, okay, well, regardless of the show that we've produced up to this point, you got to have a big fuck off fight. And also make Ralph Boner be like not a real thing, you know? And
to name him Ralph Boner too, bro.
And then what about Marcy and Monica and Johnny?
So did you hear about that?
And they're just like, is there time?
Let's talk about
like,
two
no,
things.
there's not enough time. And like, okay, well then whatever. Who gives a shit about them anyway?
One, there were more scenes with Darcy and Johnny Woo that were and Monica that were supposed to be in the finale. They cut them for time. Time? It's your own fucking programming channel. You have all the you could have made this an hour. That's fucking egregious. Fuck you. We didn't have enough time. This isn't ABC.
I don't get that. Yeah, I don't get that. Why?
Very
why
weird.
They run out of
that
time?
was a report about that. Then the other report.
Why'd they run out of time?
Again, I don't know.
If somebody knows in the audience, if somebody's listening and they know why they ran out of time, how that works, running out of time in a thing that you're producing for a company you own, explain that to me. Because I think that is horse shit is what I think that is.
And then also I read that the director was shocked that people put so much theory into Monica having a friend that was an aerospace engineer.
Fuck, I really wish that you would have reminded me about that. That's another thing that, like, okay, fuck you for that too. Because they were just like, hey, aerospace engineers coming. And then in another episode, just like, hey, aerospace engineers coming.
Yep.
And then the actress who plays Monica was just like, yo, I'm so excited about you guys finding out who the aerospace engineer is going to blow your fucking minds. And then it was nobody. And they're just like, wait, you cared about the aerospace engineer? That's weird.
Dude.
Why? What made you think that would be a weird thing?
I want to say this too. If you shared any memes this week, if you shared the meme of Captain America and it's saying, so you had a theory about WandaVision, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Here's the thing. We watched a mystery television show. If you didn't come up with any
they were just
theories...
like, hey, mystery television show. What's the mystery? There's none.
If you didn't come up with any theories, you're a simple-minded fuck. Okay, if you have any brains whatsoever, you would at least came up with some kind of theory. Like,
because
hey,
you were
this could
expecting something to happen.
Exactly. So go fuck yourself with, oh, you had a theory that didn't come true. Dude, I don't care that the theory didn't come true. I care that nothing came. Like, it was just a bridge to put her in a different outfit and give her more powers. She can now go on the other plane like Doctor Strange and study while she's doing, broke girl things or whatever the fuck they call that, in your sweatpants and all that shit. Like, and like I said, there is something really irritating to me about making a show about a person who is absolutely a terrorist, going through grief. She's the hero, and the guy trying to stop her is the supervillain.
Here's what I understand. If she starts flying away and you can't do anything to stop her, okay.
Yep.
I'm there for it.
Yep.
Because she's a god. And
even
so you can't do anything to stop her. But if you look at her and go, hey, good on you, man. What the fuck? She was the villain.
Yes.
Treat her like a villain.
Yes. And like,
Monica should have been pissed as fuck.
Right? Like, look at what these people, not only that.
Hey, but you don't know they're never going to know what you sacrificed for them, man. You lost your imaginary children.
And dude, Sword. Okay, let's say Sword doesn't have they don't, even though that's literally what they're there for.
Yeah, how the fuck does Sword get arrested by the FBI?
So, let's just put that aside. Sword is literally there to
monitor that specific event.
Powered type people, right? Okay.
They're like, no, you tried to kill her. Did you see what she was doing?
Right? Like,
this is my fucking literal job.
In the world, like, it is mind-blowing to me, like, that he was the villain. Not only he was the villain, but, like, okay, he's the villain, cool. Sword doesn't want to arrest her because Monica's there, cool, get it. Monica's like, sisters, whatever, the fuck, I don't care. We had a bond, and I don't want to arrest you. The FBI is also there. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, very frustrating, that whole stuff right there. Again, I didn't have as many problems as you did with it because I'm not as in love with Marvel, and that's probably one of the other reasons too. But like, so many missteps.
Sword is literally the sentient weapon observation and response division. When there are,
AKA, we fuck up things like Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch and the Vision are literally why we exist as a fucking organization. Hey, did you know that they took over an entire town and had everybody under like some fucking spell? Oh, you didn't know that? That's fine. It's our job to know, and we're here to deal with it. Oh, you're going to arrest me because I'm dealing with it? Oh, is it because you liked Scarlet Witch at some point? Because that's not how government works or how laws work. It doesn't matter how much you like that fucking human being. They were breaking the laws, and we're an organization that's literally here to fix that.
Yeah.
How the fuck do they arrest that guy? I didn't like that guy. He was a shithead, sure. But he was literally doing his job.
Yeah.
And it was morally the right job to do.
Yeah.
It's not like a Nazi situation where he was just like bureaucratically like listening to some tyrant. They literally saw a superpowered person take over a town and have everybody hostage. They were just like, oh shit, we should stop that. We should go do something about that. And then they're the bad guys.
Yeah.
I really hope, sincerely hope that moving forward, this is not the bar for storytelling. You know what it sounds like? They phoned it the fucking. They rode on the coattails of 10 years worth of storytelling, and they phoned it in on this one.
Yeah.
And I really hope that that's not what the move moving forward.
You know what? I don't want to jump to that yet because I want to see where
Falcon and the Winter Soldier starts next fucking week.
Yeah.
Or the week after next week.
Next week.
Next week?
Yeah, not this Friday, the Friday after.
Yeah. Not this. Yeah, next
you get
week.
1 week break.
Sure. If dude, you've lost your faith. My faith. You lost my trust.
I don't believe you.
They lost my trust.
I think you're saying that right now. I think in 1 week you'll be back on board. And here's the thing. I think
you know what this is called. This is called trepidation.
Yeah.
This is called fool me once, shame on you.
Yeah.
Fool me twice.
Yeah.
You fool me once, you're never gonna fool me again.
You're becoming like a DC fan now. Now you know how kind of I feel.
I don't even think it's that far.
I know. I'm kidding.
Because they've misstepped.
Yeah.
But because you made me wait a year and a half for this misstep.
Yeah.
And because it is the first time you've done television after a year and a half hiatus, and now I'm just like, okay, well, is this like the future of the MCU? You have literally got the rest of the year now to prove to me that this isn't the case.
I think it's problematic that, like, this show is met with, like, lukewarm response. Because, like, and I say that by, like, there's people that love it, of course. They're going to be loud. There's people that hate it, of course. They're going to be loud. The, like, score by fans, I think on Metacritic, which, again, I want to make clear, Metacritic doesn't mean dog shit other than a frame of reference of what other people are thinking. The critical score was, like, in the C+ area. The fan score was, like, 6.1 out of 10, so that's, like, C area, which is really surprising. And I want to, because we like to compare things, comparing that to Mandalorian isn't even fucking close. Like, I believe, if I remember correctly, the Mandalorian Season 1 critic score was, like, 8 point something. It was like an 80 something, which is like B to B plus area, and the fan score was like a 9. It's a little problematic that your first show for the world wasn't just universally loved like the Mandalorian. Like the Mandalorian, there was nobody that was like, I hate this. Like there were definitely people that were like,
I said that
at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, specifically at the end of the season. I didn't like the first season of Mandalorian. I talked to you about this.
Maybe I'm misremembering. So, in the end, you know, I'm hoping for a lot from Bucky, because like I think to myself, like I was thinking to myself how I felt about Vision Wanda going into this, and I was completely indifferent. I couldn't even like think much of it. But then I thought about like Bucky, Sam Bucky, and I was like, dude, like that whole scene, like, can you move your seat up? No, like their chemistry is perfect, and like I don't even think going into this like thing, there was probably never even a plan for like Cap. God damn it, I keep saying Cap. Winter Soldier Falcon show, but I think the chemistry between those two through the movies was so great, and people like that bromance so much that they're like, yeah, it's natural. These actors want to fucking act, so we're going to fucking make a show about it. And because you definitely didn't need this, but we're getting it. And if it's any, like, I mean, you know me, I don't watch any previews. I've only seen promo posters, so I've only seen
and
like...
you saw the Super Bowl one.
Yep, that's right. I did see that. That's right. I forgot about that. But like this looks like something that's like up my alley more. Like a Mission Impossible sort of like team up with the two of them and Baron Zemo. And Baron Zemo's got the mask on, bro. I'm like...
We'll see.
I'll be buying fucking Hot Toys of those figures as well.
I'll be watching it.
Hell yeah.
And I'll be really enjoying it if I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I am primed to enjoy it.
Yeah.
But man,
I think
there's a sour taste in my mouth right
I think
now.
you're gonna like it. What world have we come into where I'm the defender of the MCU in an episode? That's pretty interesting. But
it makes sense though. You know, if Star Wars lets me down, I don't give a shit. It's Star Wars.
That's true.
I never really gave a fuck to begin with. When the MCU lets me down, it's just like, dude, I love you fucking so much, man. Yeah. Why make something so shitty?
Right.
And not just shitty. Why show contempt for your audience who likes you so much?
Yeah.
Why be like, oh, I got one over on you, you stupid idiots?
I don't even understand the mindset of a person who is like, I absolutely love this. Like, that is really... Like, if you loved this, if you were like, this show and this episode specifically was everything I wanted, please let me know. Like write in and let me know what specifically you loved.
Why did you like the fact that that they hardcore specifically made you think that there was going to be some multiverse shit, and they're just like, get ready for the multiverse, and then they were just like, psych, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to like put my finger on why. I want you to tell us why you liked it and what. And here's the thing: if you loved it, please. Again, I'm not going to make fun of you. I was just kidding. Or obviously, I was kidding earlier about clowns that loved it or whatever. You know, if you loved it, that's cool, man. I want to know what about it that you liked so much, though. Like, so I can understand. And maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm misunderstanding the show, and I want to know more, man. I crave it. So. Well, we'll be back in 2 weeks because my friend over here is almost speechless on how much he disliked this show.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not. I'm not
kidding,
even that
obviously.
bad. It's just like it was just. I was surprised at the missteps.
Yeah,
you know, they set up.
It doesn't happen often in Marvel.
I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Everything. The entire setup. You had me hook, line, and sinker. All you had to do was just give us the things you said you were going to give us, and then when you were like, I'm kidding. You don't get any of that.
You know what?
Also, I'm not giving you any on purpose. Why did you think you were going to get it? Like, that to me is so confrontational to your audience that it's just like, okay, well, clearly you wanted me to be angry about it. And so, okay, you got me angry. Great. Congrats.
It's hard. It's hard to fly a plane. It's even harder to land that plane, bro.
I mean,
and like, watch, like, if you know any pilots,
they literally
the takeoff and the landing is the hard part.
This is why I don't like it. They said to you, we're going to give you an awesome aerospace engineer thing. We're going to give you awesome multiverse shit. We're going to give you all, like, they were just like,
So
here's
you
all the
had
cool,
a
awesome
theory.
things. No. Here's all the cool things.
I know. I'm
And
being
then
sarcastic.
they were just like, hey, remember all the cool things? We're not going to give you any of the cool things.
Yeah.
Why? Because you thought you were going to get cool things. So you don't get any cool things now.
Yeah.
What kind of mentality is that to have? It's not like they couldn't stick the landing. They told us what a cool landing was look like. They had the fucking cool landing, and then they were just like, but you don't get it because you thought you'd get it.
Even like, if they would have had a post-credit scene that was like interesting, I think I would have liked it more. Even
Like
if
John Krasinski comes out and just like, hey, Wanda, I'm sorry I'm late, or some shit.
Yeah,
I'd
or
be
like,
whoa!
not even like that much.
I'd Mick Jagger dance out of the room if that was happening.
But like, it doesn't need to be like that specifically. Like, I'm late, but like him like showing up like, let's record something here. Whatever the fuck he's gonna say, like anything, man. More than just like
nothing.
Scarlet Witch flipping, like her spirit flipping, like that was. I really thought that we were focusing. You know, when they showed like in the woods and stuff like that. You know, I obviously thought it was going to be Vision there, like not her. Like it should have been. We should have seen what White Vision went off to do. Like that's. We were left with what the fuck is White Vision? The show is called WandaVision. And you leave us with Vision like taking off, going, I'm Vision, taking off, and then
who knows where he went. All right.
2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, we will be back, and you will be listening to us review.
I promise you,
and the Winter Soldier.
I promise you, we're gonna love Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm placing a bet on it right now.
I think it's going to be hard for them to disappoint me. I'm very difficult to disappoint. The one thing you don't have to do, or the one thing you have to do is, if you say you're going to do cool things, don't then deny us those cool things because we thought we would get cool things. That's the only thing I ask that you don't do. Apart from that, you've got 10 years, 11 years worth of world that you can just kind of lean on, and I won't be disappointed. I promise you, as long as you don't say fuck you to me, I won't be disappointed.
Learn from Star Wars, baby. Give the fans what they want.
All right. Have an awesome day, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Sorry for being so such a Debbie Downer. But that's how I felt.